Our washing machine has been trying to leave the room of its own volition when it's been spinning, so I've come to change the shock absorbers. I've laid the machine on its side, having taken the fill hose and popped it into a bowl. I've taken the outlet hose off and I've popped that into the bowl, and importantly I've disconnected the plug from the mains, as you can see. Now if we take a look, we go down and have a look, these are the shock absorbers. There's one down here and another one up here, and you can see that they're probably leaking some sort of grease, and I'm hoping that this will resolve the problem. Now I've got the tools laid out here that I'm probably going to use. The shock absorbers are bolted on down here onto the chassis and up there onto the drum. So let's take off this bottom mount. Oh yes, this seems to move in and out way too easily. Now the problem with the other end is it's not actually bolted through. It's got a plastic peg which is part of the drum itself, and unless you're prepared to take the drum out completely and split it in half, you can't take the shock absorber off. On the top one here you can see the actual peg sticking through, and what I'm going to do is there's a rubber bushing in there which I thought is possibly going to catch as I try to cut through the plastic pin. So I'll try and get that out, give myself a bit more working room. Yeah, I haven't been able to move much of that bushing, but yeah, this does look as though it's going to be possible with a saw blade. Right, that's it through. All I've got to do is try and pull it out now. Well, the pivot is not rushing to come out by pulling it, so I'm just going to cut the other side. There we go. It's hollow, so it's not particularly difficult to cut. Go, and that's out. I did manage to pull it part way out, but it was quite difficult to pull at, so it was just easier to cut the other side off. As you can see, there's a fair bit of leaking grease, very sloppy to move in and out, more so down there. So let's hope this fixes the problem. The kit itself comes with a set of instructions which comprise 5 pictures and 6 lines of text, but only one of which is in your language, which simply says repair instructions for shock absorber exchange. First off, they show you drilling a 13.2mm hole 30mm deep, but as you can see inside you can't get a drill in, and then drifting it out. But you can quite clearly see from this picture they've only got the drum on a bench, so it doesn't really help. And they've cleared it out completely so that you can put in these bearings. But I suspect I should only put that in one side. The other side I should probably just drill the hole in the plastic, as I've still got the piece in there. I should just drill that out to M8 to get the M8 bolt in that they supply. There's the new shock absorber. Let's see. Oh, that's much firmer. Yes, that'll be nice. M8 bolt. Looking at the drawing, depending on your machine, depends whether you need a square washer or a round washer. A bush to go either side of the shock absorber, as like that. A fancy washer and a nylock nut. I just need to clean up this rough cut I made so that I can actually get the shock absorber with the bushes on it in the actual hole. That's better. It actually fits now. Well, like I said, I'm going to drill out the remaining piece of plastic to 8mm. Of course, you can't actually get a drill in. Well, I suppose if you had a flexible drive, which I don't have, so I'm just going to improvise with this and drill a hole through the existing piece of the pin that's part of the drum assembly. Just twist this drill right the way through so that it cuts off these little bits of plastic swarf and makes the hole clean. That way I don't have to file it. That should do it. Lovely job. Now I may have drilled out the far side to 8mm for the bolt, but the near side of course was large enough to take the peg, so I'm just going to have to cut a piece off the peg to make a little filler, a little washer, spacer I suppose, and drop that into the space, put an M8 hole in the middle of it first, obviously. Right, that should do it. Just pop that into the hole then. Right, so I don't waste a lot of time trying to feed that bolt in there. I'll just make sure everything's lined up. There we go. It's in now. So pop the funny shaped washer on and get the nut on, and now I can do it up. Oh, the bottom one should be straightforward now. I've seen how to do the top one, so I've just got to cut this off. Same on the other side. Oh, good. That's the bottom one out as well. If I get the remains of this peg out, and then I can go and cut it to make the spacer washer thing with the M8 hole in the middle, just like I did for the top one. Right, I'm back with that. Let's get it on this bolt, get the whole thing bolted back together again. That's the special shape washer that's got to go on around there. Right, that's nipped that up. Okay, that's looking good. Excellent. Bolting the bottom part of the shock absorber back onto the chassis looks as though it's a bit more tricky. They don't line up. Where I've taken the shock absorbers off, of course, it's shifted across. The whole drum has shifted across. But if I just put this in behind here, it looks as though it's about the right size, and that will make them line up. Yep, yeah, that's good. Oh, I've just got to hoover out all the bits of plastic now before I get this back upright, and it looks as though it'll be ready to go. Oh, I mustn't forget to take the knife out of the back of here. And I hope this was of some use to someone, give them the idea of what it's like and how easy it is to do. You shouldn't have any problems. As I said, a small number of tools, bit of space. Don't forget to unplug it from the mains and look out for the water. Oh, and when you connect the pipe up at the back, don't forget to check for leaks before you put the machine back under the countertop.